Hi guys, welcome to the news report from Chiranhua about negative production externalities, using the example of Ho Chi Minh Street vendor new policies. I hope you can enjoy this presentation. To begin with, let's start with the context of Ho Chi Minh City, which is the place where the event occurred. To begin with, on the left side of the presentation is the pictures of Nhà thờ Đức Bà, which is one of the most well-known tourist destinations in Ho Chi Minh City and one of the most beautiful churches in Vietnam. And there are four characteristics that I want you to remember about Ho Chi Minh City because we will use this in our evaluation later. Firstly, it is the economic center of Vietnam. Secondly, it has around 8 million legal citizens in Ho Chi Minh City, which is standard contemporary. Thirdly, the average GDP of, of the citizens is around $5,000. And the most important thing to remember is there are around 6 million tourists come to Ho Chi Minh City last year, and tourism plays a most important role in Ho Chi Minh City overall economics. And this information I taken from Wikipedia. The problem of street vendor actually come from migrant people, and there are also four characteristics of migrant people that you all must also remember too. But don't worry, I will talk about it later in the before the evaluation. But just remember it. Firstly, they have low education and even literacy. They cannot read or even write any word. Secondly, there are 3 million people living temporarily in Ho Chi Minh City, which is accounted for one-fourth of the total population. Thirdly, they don't have any bank account or credit card. They even don't pay tax because it's hard to keep track of their activities. And fourth, they are relatively poor since they don't have education and also they don't have any jobs to earn sufficient income for their life. Okay, so these are two pictures of street vendors in Vietnam. The first one is the selling shoes, and the second one is selling food. So you can see that they are taking space of the walking space of people. But I will talk it more deeply in the next slide. At first, I just want to give you some pictures, imagination, what is street vendors like in Vietnam. Before we continue, you may stop the presentation for a little bit to think of some of the problems may occur with the street vendors. If not, then we start to continue again. The first one is the street vendors take up space in the street, which may lead to road contractions and sometimes even road accidents because the driver may hit to those people. The second drawback is the dirtiness and also the unknown quality and the prices of the products. This means the street vendor they always throw trash away, and also for the price they're selling, we don't know how much they sell, and this they make the cost pricey for foreigner, and this will reduce the image of of Ho Chi Minh City in the eye of tourist people. You can see the pictures for a while. Okay, and what's the third problem? The third problem based on the quality of the products. See, no one checking what's the components of the products, and the people may sell it illegally. We, this may lead to sickness because we don't know what they sell on those products. And that is three main problems of street vendors in Vietnam, and that is why we call it negative production externalities. Okay, I have to change the display because the noise quite dark here. But let's analyze the diagram the negative production externality diagram, which is resemble the problem of street vendors in Ho Chi Minh City. As we can see on the diagram, the total demand of Ho Chi Minh City population equal to the marginal private benefit and equal to the marginal social benefit because there is no because there's no benefit external benefit from the consumptions of these street vendor product. However, we can easily see that the marginal social cost is higher than the marginal private cost because what? Because the problem that the seller creates to the society is much more greater than their own cost. So as you can see, there's a welfare loss between A, B, and O. This is illustrated by the fact that the current equilibrium as price BE and quantity QE is higher than the price P1 and Q1. So, because this problem of production externality, we must find we must find solution to solve this problem, actually to reduce this market failure. But first, let's come up with the real consequences that the consumer may receive from consumes uh, these products. So, as I say again, this is a problem for both consume and production. Okay, we just analyze the graph and actually what is the real consequences to on our society with street vendor. As you can read on the left side of the presentation, this affect the environment and make the tourists don't like Ho Chi Minh City anymore. This will directly affect the economics as a whole. More importantly, it may lead to food poisoning and also traffic congestions because all of the above mentioned problems. Here is the pictures in the lake in Ho Chi Minh City, where it's also one of the most famous tourist destinations too. But with too much rush, who want to go, right? And that is why there should be measurements to solve the problem. And how Ho Chi Minh City's government has solved the problem? Let's continue to see it. There are three proposal forms of expert given to the governments, and let's see some of them. The first one is import tax on those street vendor people. Do you think it will work? Let's wait a little bit. Ban street vendors. Hmm, really good. Solve our problem, but it is the most effective case. Open street vendor zone. Ooh, that was also the new thing, right? So, in your opinion, what's the most effective? That is what we will do right now. We will evaluate about three of the proposal form to find out the best thing, and let's see if the Vietnamese government has choose the right one to impose on the law document. Okay, let's look back at four migration people characteristic. First, low education. Second, 3 million people. Thirdly, no bank account, no credit card. And fourth, they are poor. Right now, I think you have some imagination about the problem and some evaluation. Let's start with the first one. Is impose tax benefit the society or just create more problems? The idea of impose tax has been suggested in 2015. However, it has been never carried out because of the problem. Most of the street vendors they don't register with the government, therefore it's hard to keep track of their activities, and more importantly, their income is very low. Therefore, it's not suitable to impose tax. Okay, let's see how tax can contribute to solving this problem in Ho Chi Minh City. So if you can remember when import tax on these on demerit good or negative production externality, the government want to discourage people to produce or to consume a certain good by increase the price, and also from the taxations the government can also improve their budget to spend on solving the external costs that create by um, these market failure. So this is the benefit can cover social costs and also can reduce the quantity demand of buyers that I just told you. And as we can see on the diagram, when impose tax, the marginal private cost plus tax will move closer to the social optimum and reduce the welfare loss. That was one way to solve the reduce, not solve, the problem of street vendors. But is it suitable for real life? The answer is no. Why? Because most of the time, selling street vendor is not registered to the registration to the government. Therefore, the therefore government cannot keep track of these street vendor activities. And most of the time, the money transferring will be hand by hand, not using ATM card or credit card. So how can the government keep track of the seller to get to impose tax on them, right? See, it's insufficient. As you can see on the picture, people always stand on the street and sell their product and then people will give money for them. There's no use of credit card. Therefore, it is not suitable to impose tax. And more importantly, because there's no regulation or agreement between street vendors, so price for product may vary from place to place, from vendor to vendors. Therefore, it is hard to find a suitable percentage of tax to tax on these persons. In 2017, the government has come up with two plans for solving the problem of street vendors. First, the first one is they want to ban all the activities, and the second one is to provide the street vendor zones. So, in your opinion, what's the better one? As you can see on the right side of the presentation is the board written that by street vendors in these regions. So what's the benefit of this measure, of this policy? Firstly, it solves the problem of opportunity cost because the government can allocate their purchase more effectively on other important sector or industries such as education and health industry rather than cover up the cost caused by the street vendors. But there's one really important disadvantage is there are 3 million people in migrant people in Ho Chi Minh City, and if they are unemployment, they cannot earn sufficient income to support their life and family. They may participate in criminal activity that will bear much more cost than their current activities. That is the reason why the government haven't choose this as their ultimate measure methods. So what opening vendor zones? This is a place where street vendors can come together to sell their product under the provision of the government. And also in this location, the government also provides more waste buckets, facilities, and also security for the street vendor. So, is there any positive and negative impacts of urban street vendor zones? Yes, of course, there are some disadvantages, such as the government has to improve the spending on provide facility and security for the street vendors. However, there are much more benefits from this kind of measures compared to the other. Firstly, it provides job opportunities for poor people, such as the migrants that can still sell their products, and also the local people can become a security guard, which also providing job. More importantly, it also provide facilities for the sellers to reduce their cost, which lead to improve their net profit and improve their life quality. Thirdly, assess medical checking for all the products, and this will ensure us there will be no illness people caused by using those street vendors products from street vendor. And fourth, it become a tourist attractions and it attract tourists to come and visit and also try some
traditional and also some street cuisines in Vietnam, which is the best resolution right now. And that's why the Vietnamese government choose this other solutions. As you can see on the pictures, there is a foreigner waiting and enjoy the fruit from the vendors. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you earn more knowledge about market failure and a little bit about Ho Chi Minh City. Thank you for your attention.